welcome. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. I have a poll up there in the top thingy. Seeing if you want me to watercolor or alcohol marker or ink these stargazers that I'm going to be doing. So here's what a stargazer lily is, in case you don't know. I put it on my phone screen so I could refer to it because I won't remember that. And then I'm going to be using these Heartfelt blooms from Simon Hurley, brand new. Hi, Chow. Hi, Maddie. And I don't know, these reminded me of Stargazer lilies or tiger lilies, but honestly, tiger lilies are going to have a little bit more spots on them, but not that many. So you could do either. Hi, Anya. Yay, you got Kaylin to nap. So what I'm going to be doing here, depending on the outcome of the poll, and I'm not going to keep it open too long, is I'm thinking of no line watercoloring. So if I do that, I need an ink that will work for that. And I'm going to use Gina K's Amalgam ink. I keep seeing lights flash and I keep thinking that there's a stink bug flying by a light. Sorry guys, it's like 83 degrees here and this is kind of when they come out. So hi Tanya, long time no see. Hi Glow. This Gina K amalgam I'm going to be using in Whisper, so I can kind of see what I'm doing, but I feel like a no line is the way to go with these. Either way, whether I do alcohol markers or if I do ba-dum, watercolor. I knew those words would come. Words are hard. It's been a rough day so far. Hi Randy, good to see you. Oh, so yeah, Anya and you are in the same neck of the woods, so to speak, Randy. Yeah, 83, and yeah, I've got my air conditioner on, so sorry about the blowing noise, but there's no way around that. I can't, it's at the point again this year where I can't do my voiceovers unless it's 4 or 5 a.m. and I don't have to have my air on because it's just too noisy. Hi, Pam. So, yeah, I mean, we might get some thunderstorms later, but north of me, up around Nashville, up around Kentucky, up around Franklin, Tennessee, they're facing some major disaster with tornadoes. So for all our friends up in that area. Okay, so far we've got 67% at the watercolor level. So I'll be using some Tim Holtz water. I don't have any fancy schmancy watercolor paper, so I'll be using the Tim Holtz watercolor paper because it's still better than my Walmart. And I still will be using the smooth side because I want, to make sure that I can see all the lines. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those out first. I'm definitely going to use my Misty, my mini Misty. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I think you can because somebody heard me say the temperature. I'm going to do the larger flowers and I'm doing the outlines. So what's cool about these flowers is you can stamp the inner part too. And I played with it a little bit, doing just stamping and then kind of stamping on purple paper. And then I added some pen just because I was playing. Because that's what I do. Thank you so much, Maddie. I'm sure everyone appreciates it. It's a scary situation. Our friend Melissa has had her everything destroyed before. So, you know, she lost everything. It was terrible. All right, I've got so much crud in the way here. Oh, thank you, Kat. So, let me just close the poll here because we've got 67% watercolor. So we're going with watercolor. And I'm going to stamp out, and I may need to stamp a few times with this Whisper ink so I can actually see it. So this is an amalgam ink, meaning it's good for watercolor or alcohol ink. Nature is a powerful thing, and you know, there's no saying, I'm sorry, please don't do that to me. It's going to happen. If it's on your way, it's on your way. It's probably 50 miles north of us, the tail part of it. Yeah, watercoloring is fun. Listen, I'm not a pro, that's for sure, and I don't exactly always know what I'm doing, but I do watch a lot of, you know, Instagram people watercoloring and stuff. I follow a lot of artists just to kind of get an idea of how to do it. I certainly wouldn't take a class myself because too much money and too much time and too peoply. Oh yeah, definitely watercolor acrylics. Okay. Let's see which one. I like this one better, so I'm going to do a second one of that one. I'm just going to sneak it on here and stamp that one down. I may use two, I may use three, I don't know. So I doused this room in peppermint spray, and it wasn't even watered down, and lavender. Friends, my eyes are burning. If that doesn't scare the bugs away, I don't know what will. But I already did see one in here, so. But I think he was trying to get away because I sprayed around the window. I think he was trying to get away from that. Yeah, definitely. Last time I did peoply, I went to a restaurant, met a friend from the internet, which was super cool, at a restaurant, came home with the flu. Well, I didn't have the flu immediately, but the next day I had the flu. Okay. Wish me luck, friends. So I'm looking at the stargazers. They have this, and I think this is why they're called a stargazer. They have like this little center thing going on there. And so I think that's where I'll start. And so let's grab my green, the lightest green. Let's grab some water. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of form a little line of water. Okay, I can't even see my lines. And then just add some water to my paint and just kind of let that flow in the lines wherever they went. I can't even see them. Okay, that's the tricky part there, is being able to actually see them. Okay, we're going to call those them. I don't follow Lisa. I probably should. Trust me, I rarely ever even watch videos at all anymore. I just don't have time. I have got myself in a time situation. I definitely want these to be, let's just kind of, that's going to be too thick. I know it. That's okay. They don't have to be perfect. And then those have to dry before I move to the next step. So I'll be using my drying tool a lot. Yeah, I know she designs for Tina K. Okay, so so in the center of them is the darker green. Okay, I can handle that, and that I'm going to do wet on dry. Is this the little brush I was using? I think it is. Let's just get it so I can do nice thin lines. This will kind of help define what I'm trying to do here, I hope. I I wouldn't know what the right brushes are, anything. I just grabbed the ones, I bought a set, and, cheap set because I don't see investing in it unless it's something I'm going to do, professionally all the time. And the paints I'm using, by the way, in case anybody asks, these are that, but also, I think they say on the inside, yeah, Kuretake Gambi paints. And I can't find my swatch sheet, so I had to just kind of pull colors and hope for the best. Hi, Roberta. Yes, the stamp, these are, this is a stamp set from Simon Hurley. It's called Heartfelt Blooms. It's a new release. You'll find my Ranger link listed very first thing in the description box down below. And you just go to What's New, Simon Hurley, and you'll find the Heartfelt Blooms. So it's got this one, and there are coordinating dies that you can get. Friends, it's more than likely I'm going to fussy cut these, but I may use the dies. It just depends on time. Yep, Roberta, weather's okay right up here. It's cloudy and humid and warm, and the stink bugs are out in force. Okay, so let's get the brush clean here. And I want to start on my pink now. And so the way that pink looks is it's darker to light. So let's see if I can finagle something here. Again, I don't exactly know what I'm doing. I'll zoom in for you guys a little bit though, so you can kind of see what I think I might be doing. And I'm going to take my brush, my wet brush, and I'm going to fill in just parts of this. We'll start with this one, and then do the fun part, which is to throw the paint in. I think a lot of how your watercolor turns out is what paper you're using. I don't know about the paint, maybe, maybe. Oop, do not do that. See, it doesn't really want to flow as nicely on this paper as I've seen, other artists when they get it all nice and wet and the paint just goes plumes right out. Freezing rain in Maine, eek. Yeah, Roberta, I forget where you are. Remind me, are you in Tennessee or in Alabama? Okay. Looks more like a blob than a bloom, but I can blend it out, and that's the idea. Let's just kind of pull some of this down. See, I'm going to go in with a much darker color over top. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, you're next door on my left about 3 to 4 hours. So, um, due left or over by Mamie? I think that's the distance of time. I know I had a friend go to one of Mamie's, or she went to Mamie's shop and wanted me to come meet her, but I don't travel, which was kind of a bummer. I kind of wanted to, because I like to meet cool people. I personally don't drive, and Mike wasn't able to drive me, so. Yeah, if you're west of me, then yeah, you're looking at, because they're saying on the west side of Alabama is where we're looking at more dangerous storms today. So, friends, when you're watercoloring or, doing whatever kind of artwork you're doing, just remember that trust the process. It might look funky at first. You might be going, what was I thinking? But there's a lot to do here when you're watercoloring. So, you do kind of the rough work and then you start doing the detail work. And then, of course, there's a lot of drying in between. So as you see, that's starting to dry back now. Good idea, Roberta. Let's try that. Well, now I've got it already wet, but let's see if that helps out any. Oh yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you. Good tip. I mean, it probably can get wetter, but I'll take any tips I can get, friends. By no means an expert at anything. I need lots of help. Flat map view, you're left of me. Which left? Am I looking down or up? Okay. When you start talking about time zones or north, south, east, or west, I'm lost. I don't know if left is west, but I think it is. Well, if I look this way, left is north. You're somewhere. You're somewhere. Somewhere 3 or 4 hours away from me. Oh, is it your birthday, Berta? Happy birthday. Tomorrow's one of my son's birthday. Sunday's my other son's birthday. I like my Aries people. I like my goats and my rams. I had three Capricorn kids and two Aries kids. And my husband's a Capricorn. So I got a bunch of goats and rams and I'm a lion. It's 19 a.m. there, so a little after midnight, right? I'm going to go ahead and dry these now. I got them a little bit on the wet side. Birthday wishes. Happy birthday. Oh, okay. You're in Mississippi. Okay, I hope you stay safe there. That's a little sketchy over there. Yeah, I've got a tissue here for swiping for when I do fine detail, when I start kind of blending it. So far, I'm happy with what's happening here. I just need it to be dry before I move on to the next step. At least for me, that's the most important tip that I've learned watching other people is do dry. You're a bull and so was your daughter. My mother was also an Aries. Gotta watch those Aries females, man. I don't know though. My Aries boys have some tempers on them too. All right, now I'm going to just blend out a little bit. And this is where I'm going to wipe my brush off because I want to just soften this and bring this pink out just a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because, again, I'm going for a watercolor look here. And I'm going to get these lines, and I'm aware of that. I'm not mad. Just blend out this pink some. Blend it down into here. But not all the way out to the edge, because if you look at the picture, they're white along the edge. Shut up. Yeah, pretty soon it's bull birthdays, isn't it? I'm only blending it out where I think it needs to be blended. But see how good, nice that Gina K ink is? You can still see it, but it's much lighter in color, so I wouldn't call it exactly perfect no line watercoloring because I can still see the lines. They're not going to fade out, but they are light enough that I can go over it with another color to kind of get my edges, and they won't show as much, but they show enough for me to be able to start blending in shadows once I get these parts blended out. Really need that to come out more. You have to be careful though, this paper will pill. How do I know? Ask me how I know. Need a little bit more water there. Need it just a tiny bit more paint. There we go. Not quite coming out as much as I'd hoped, and I really don't want to pill up my paper. See, it's already starting to pill right there. I'm going to quit messing with it until it dries. Crafter's Companion has disappearing ink. I have some too, but it doesn't, I mean, it claims to be. It's by Ink on 3, but it kind of, in my opinion, acts as a resist. And so it doesn't really disappear. Okay, so far so good. Happy. Like the way that one came out. Just don't want to mess with it. But I do want these, soften up these edges a bit. Oh, my house is creaking. The wind must be blowing. We have had wind warnings. So, yeah, there's that. Blend it out nicely. Oh, he said it and it goes away. Okay. Do they smell good? I haven't seen a Stargazer lily in a long time in real life. last flower I saw in real life, other than the daffodils that are blooming right now, you know, around the neighborhood, were the roses Mike brought me for Valentine's Day. I'm live, Mike. Go ahead. I'm just telling you so you don't come in here and start saying bad words. I have my door open because I sprayed peppermint in here and it's too strong. It's burning my eyes. Sorry about that, friends. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that one alone. All right, let's give that a quick dry before I go in for the darkers. Oh, looking through the lilies online today, I saw some really crazy, beautiful colors. I do need an on-air light box. That's a good idea. Okay, so I'm coming in with this darker color. And like I said, I lost my swatch sheet. Oh, it's buried over there somewhere, but let's get that a little bit more wet. Give that a second to soak in. And so I don't know what these colors look like. I rely heavily on swatches on some things, not ink. My brain knows exactly what the inks look like. So they kind of just have this line coming through the middle like so. These aren't exactly like lilies, but they're close enough. This one actually has a line I can follow. And so does this one. Oh, no re-inker. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. And then, two, you know, without the swatches, you don't know what they're going to really look like once they've, you know, dried back. Because you can see this one's drying back much, much lighter than it's laying down. I wish I knew how to do those fancy brush moves I see them doing. I have no idea. That's what I would take a class for, is to learn how to how to use my brush effectively. You know, where it's thin and then it goes thicker and then it goes thin again. I guess I can't get it thin again is my problem. Hey, Jana. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad. They're going to be above me in Tennessee. Okay. Well, I won't go get a lottery ticket. If any of you guys don't know, here in Alabama, the lottery's illegal. So if you want a lottery ticket, you have to drive up to Tennessee. And I'm about 10 miles from the border. So there's right across the border, there's a little place that you can play lottery. I don't think that was the right spot, but it's going to be the spot now. Okay. Now I need to add all the little dots in, but I'm not sure I want to do that until I start to kind of work on my gray here. Let's run the dryer over that quickly. Disappearing ink. Well, I remember that from the comic books when I was a kid. Oh, I missed one right there. I have to get it before I dry this or I'll forget about it. Where is it? Right there. Managed to kind of make that one work. I know it's about practice because I, like I said, I've watched videos. Yeah, you can't even play bingo in Alabama. Bingo, it's an old lady sport. Come on. But it's gambling. Hey, Elizabeth. See, I'll need to define those center lines a little better too. So far, though, they're starting to look like stargazers-ish. Okay. So I want to come in with gray, but I want it very, very watered down. And the gray is just to kind of enhance the white. So I'm going to wipe off here. And I'm just going to come in here and kind of create some little shadow. Now this should dry back pretty well, but in case it doesn't, I'm going to really blend it back. My lifting, kind of lifting before it dries. And this is where, I'll cut, basically covering up those lines-ish. More white here, so let's lift some more. Still more. I might have to add white paint to that. I don't know. Let's see if I can get any more lifted out of here for the paper pills. Yeah, that's good. Good. You guys, I cheat too. I'll come in with my color pencils because those things I'm not too bad at. I don't think bingo's gambling at all, Tanya. Not at all. Yeah. I think I might have to do a little mixing here because I feel like my gray is just a little bit too dark and it's the only gray in the group. And let me find something to mix that in. I got this thing out, but it's really dusty. Let me just try and wipe some dust out of there and see if I can move some paint into here. Get my white in first. And I've got it quite watered down here, as you can see. Let's see if I can get that any lighter. Tap off the brush. Oh yeah, that's a lot lighter. Much better. Kind of dark still, but a part of that is that these lines are just dark. They're maybe too dark.
Maybe too dark. Let's come in here. I'm just going to come in with this darker gray and just add a little shadow right there, add a little shadow right there, add a little shadow right here, right there. Kind of just blend those out. This is my favorite part, is the blending, because it really works. It's fun. Let's blend that up to there. Maybe mixing colors, and it doesn't matter because pink and gray will mix just fine. Let's water this down a bit more. Shade in there. Come in here. Just kind of blend that out. Bring this out here a little bit. Just kind of trying to shade in where some of the wrinkles are, what we would consider wrinkles. Sorry, flower, I don't mean to offend you. I think I'm going to use this to shade the insides of the flower. I think. Okay, I'm going to use my super light right here. Just kind of bring that gray around. Don't need to really add anything more there. Oh, what happened there? No bueno. Okay, I can see a spot where I'm going to need my white pencil. Not sure what happened there, how that got like that. Too wet, probably. If I get quiet, friends, I'm just focusing. I really like how that is messy right there. I have an artist, I can't see gray in your photo, but that it really worked. Yeah, no, you can't see gray, but you can't, like, you can't see white against white. So, you know, unless I have a bunch of greenery backing this, I've got to add something to bring out, and especially if your lines are going to disappear like you wish they would. Okay, just add that right there. Okay. So I'm going to come in and start adding the dots on the same one. This one is going to take a very light hand and very carefully, because this is the smallest brush tip I have. And I may fudge and give it more spots than it should have, because I can. Yes, it is difficult to stick your tongue out when you're concentrating. So for instance, the stamp doesn't have any spots here, but let me just double check my reference.
We've got spots on all leaves here, so this one's getting spots whether it likes it or doesn't. Taking artistic license with it. And I can use kind of the lines that are within there as a little guideline. Just have to remember to try and stay random with them, not get too uniform. Hi, Roadrunner. Happy Thursday. Okay, this one has bigger spots in it. See, as soon as I add these spots, it takes shape of whatever I'm expecting it to be, whatever I'm hoping for, what my hopes and dreams are. I need some more tiny spots over here. Okay, this is another one where I'm just going to have to wing it with my spots. Put some larger spots, smaller ones. This takes a long time, friends, but you're right, it is relaxing. It's kind of like Zen, in case you need to Zen. Right, Diane? They can. Spots of cash, spots of love, spots of wisdom. Don't need the whole thing, just a spot here and there, right? Big spots here. Okay, now I'm going to do something crazy, and I may wreck the whole doggone thing, but I'm going for it anyway. I'm going to come back in with the pink. I'm going to just kind of create a little bit of pink around here. I just feel like it needs a little more pink than it has. What do you think? More pink? You're cleaning your desk off? Watercolor Zen mode. Doo doo doo. You know what song stuck in my head? The theme song from Aladdin. I can soften this down just a little bit. I feel like it needs a little softening, don't you?
just a little bit. Let's kind of clean that up. Pick up some of that. Whoops, I'm making a mess there. That's okay, make a mess. You can have a mess if you want. You can leave your mess behind. So in a lot of cases, what I'll do is once the paint is dry, I'll come in with my white pencil and put white back. Yeah, no, the Prince Ali song. Why, I don't know. I couldn't possibly tell you why that's there. Now, some of these that I saw were fully pink. Okay, let's get some water. Grab some from his friend over there. I just feel like I need to go pinker because of the gray lines. So it kind of hides them a little better. Sorry, full of earworms up in here. We've still got a good variation of color going here. Yeah, I feel like adding the pink really helped out with those kind of gray lines. Getting blurry there. Kind of blurring this piece out a little bit. I can take that portion and I can use it to add some shadow in here where it's in between the petals. Yep. Dip off. Come in and just do these lines. Yeah, that's working out. I'm happy about that. Thank you. Yeah, I am known for good earworms. I do them to Dawn all the time on Instagram. You know what? I feel like I could actually use what paint I have wiped off on this little rag. Let's find out. Yeah. I mean, why not? Let's kind of blend this upward. I want to take in, let's go, grab some more of this, blur it out a little bit more. While I'm blurring it out, I can borrow some of that paint to create this shadow right here. Maybe. Yep. Needs to be a little darker right in there, but it'll do. It'll do, pig. It is. Perfection is definitely stressful. But at the same time, it's kind of like downfall, maybe you could say, in that, I always worry people are, never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. I'll shut up. Okay, let's borrow a little bit more of this right here and use it for a shadow over here. Tap it in. I could borrow just a itty bit off of there. I'm afraid to though, because it's kind of dark. It does kind of need to be dark in between there though. Where was I? Shoot, I lost my place. Whatever. Just creating a little bit of shading there. That's what happens when you do subtle differences in color. And you don't see that well. Yes, yes, I'm liking that. Thank you very much, everybody, for the compliments. I appreciate that. Here's where I was. I want to come in actually pretty dark right here. I'm going to have to come back in and define those green lines for sure. Blend this out. A little water. Too much. Prince shut up, shut up. I know what it is, so I may have to add more spot. Oh, I'm loving this. I am. My air conditioner has a rhythm, and my brain, I think, tries to make sense of the rhythm by creating a tune out of it. Does that make sense to anyone, or am I just completely nuts? But my brain is always trying to make sense out of things. So I'm kind of working dryish on wet here. Let's get some more of this pink. I'm just stealing it right from this rag. Works out great. That line to be so harsh. You do that on trains, Tanya? I'm glad I don't think um I'm not the only one that maybe tries to make sense out of rhythmic noises. Because it is this kind of a and I need to make it be something so my brain hears a song. So it's your prerogative when you're painting to change your mind. Because remember, I started out with this being gray, but I changed my mind and decided I didn't like it gray. I didn't like it white. And some of the stargazers are fully pink, but I can always come in with my white pencil. So, and I most likely will have to because I went pretty dark there. But I do like the shading. Let's come in and add a little shading here in between these little green stars. See, if I'd have picked, if you guys would have picked alcohol marker coloring, I would have been done already. So this dark red color kind of doesn't like move with water as easily as some of the others. That's interesting, huh? Oh, thanks, Dawn. Let me see. Got this at probably Hobby Lobby. Got that at the Dollar Tree. And I like it, although it does look like a specimen cup. It works. Okay, let's get our fingers going on this one. Okay. Grab some of this deep color, whatever it is. Delineate this green again best I can. Let's get a bit of shading going onto these parts. Nope. See, my brush is getting funky on me. Don't do that. Plenty loud. We need our red coming back in here. Oop, ew, got goopy. Put some more water in there. Well, that's one way to get a nice thin line, isn't it? Blend those out before they get funky NASA. There's the new earworm for you, funky NASA. You guys are going to hate me by the end of the night. I think I better get a clean part of my thing going here. Some here. I think my star is going to be the weirdest shaped star ever. But that's okay. So, funny story. My last name used to be Pori. And for whatever reason, people kept calling me Lori. When my name is Tracy, it clearly isn't Lori. It doesn't sound anything like Lori. But they'd just get, their heads would get messed up and they'd call me Lori. I'd answer to it. I mean, I don't want to embarrass anybody. It happens. Make mistakes on names. It took me forever just to do this one flower. Maybe our card's just going to have one flower on it.
Oh, I'm not famous. My last name is Fear. But if you Google Tracy Pori, I used to write for a magazine, and actually it was a magazine in the UK years ago, called Digital Photography Techniques. And then before that, it was called, it was called Digital Photography Techniques, and then they renamed it to Digital Photography Effects. And then they closed it down in favor of doing 3D, which was a smart move because, Maya and things like that for gaming. That was a smart move on their part. I'm just going to add a little bit of boogity boo here. See, I've taken complete artistic license with these stamps. And you can do that. No one said you can't. Use them as a jumping off point and move from there. I've got way too dark, but I'm actually okay with that. Just got to get some delineation right there. Delineation meaning lines so that it's more legible, our little star in our Stargazer. Okay, let's get our lines going in that thing now. Thank you very much. Like I said, sometimes they'll look really funky at first, and you just got to keep going and don't give up. Don't quit before the miracle. And let's get this pink out of here completely. Although it probably won't hurt anything if I accidentally mix it up. I don't really want to do that. And this had some lines that you could definitely see. These stars. There's the original. Here's my rendition. I think I got too many spots. That's okay. So I'm going to dry this. Bye, Roberta and Anja. I understand. Annie. Yeah, how do you get Rebecca out of Roberta? Interesting question. Ooh, just had a power surge. Okay, turn that off right now. That happens, especially when there's a lot of storm activity going on. Okay, so now I have a white pencil. And then I think I'm going to grab a color pencil here. I do have my swatch sheet for that. Let's go with $9.95. Mulberry. Nope. Yep. Yeah. I don't know about that because, again, like I always say, it's never duck. So remember I said I was going to add the white back in. So here I come, adding the white back in. I absolutely love my white pencils. So there should be white right here.
Where I got too much shading, I can just go over it with my white pencil. Gives a whole new meaning to mixed media. See, those are supposed to look like wrinkles, not lines. One thing you want to do is make sure that your stuff is dry before you hit it with your pencil. I hope the power doesn't go down too. I mean, it could, but sometimes I'll just blow a fuse too because too much stuff is going on in the house. Like I said, I'm way better with my pencils than I am watercolors. Blend it out, just lighten it up. You can still have the dark spots. And then take this one and I need to sharpen it. Oh, thanks, Tanya. Yep, there they go again, flashing the lights. There's no thunder that I'm aware of. I'm gonna come in and just kind of add some more darkness where I have more control with my pencil. I don't use Gamsol or anything. That's kind of a deep wrinkle, isn't it? Let's fix that a little bit. Oh gosh, yes, I have flashlights at the ready. I have one right on my bedside because we always have the threat of power outages when there's bad storms. But again, the storm isn't here, but that doesn't mean it can't take our power out because, well, it can, that's why. So there, I pretty much lost the lines from my no line thing. And I'm going to be fussy cutting this out, so I'm not terribly concerned about any schmutz that's on the outside. So I'm mostly just bringing my white back where the white was in the photograph. Best I can. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. I don't do perfect. And then just kind of softening out those shadows. Okay, here, here, there. Oops, pencil needs to be sharpened again. Much better. Oh no, Tanya, that would be terrible. Losing your power like that. I don't like the way this one looks. It looks a little too, I'm going to live with it. I'm just going to live with it and stop messing around, Bobby. So I'm using, this is a Prismacolor pencil, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. And if the power goes out, thank you guys for coming, because I've gone over what I normally go. That took a while, huh? Now there needs to be little dealy bobs here, but I'm not going to paint those in. I'll probably do them with the pen. Let's go ahead and I'm going to fussy cut this out. Thank you, Linda. One thing Simon didn't give us, he gave us leaves, but he didn't give us a stem for this. But I have other Simon Hurley stamps that have a stem. So this one has a stem, but I don't want all that. I imagine I could mask it off or do some stamp surgery. I could do stamp surgery. Give that some thought. Because I don't want to have to color all those. So yep, I'm fussy cutting live on camera, right up to the line. These are easy to cut out though. Because you can leave, you don't have to go roundy. Like if you do, like not close to the line, like if you leave a white space, you kind of have to round things off. In this case, you don't. I keep that point, but I'm probably going to lose part of it. So I hope that you're inspired to get out your watercolors and play with them, and don't be afraid. Don't say, "Oh, I hate that I messed it up," and abandon the project. Keep going. Dry it, remove paint, add paint, grab your pencils, do what you do. Hey, Carla. Yeah, I think I'm going to do some stamp surgery on that, honestly. I don't want to hurt Simon's feelings. But, I mean, I could try to mask it off, but you know what happens to me when I do that? Because I'm not stupid, friends, not at all. But I'm a very forgetful. I might forget, like I'll put tape over to mask it and then forget to take the tape off. Look at my hands. Oh, how'd I get so dirty? So, yeah, by no means does being forgetful make you a stupid person. It just makes you a forgetful person. And you know, part of that comes with age, and then part of that comes from a brain trauma that I had in my 20s. I had a brain injury and lost my memory. Like, there's whole parts of my life I don't remember. So, you know, it's a struggle sometimes. On that struggle bus, you know, you've got the typical, where did I put my keys? Why did I walk into this room? But then there's the, you know, what happened in my life at that point, I don't remember. And just obviously points before the accident. Look what happened. Now, where are my tweezers? You guys see them? There they are. No bueno.
Okay, so there's the lily. Wakey wakey. We're kind of close. It's a little more towards the purple end, but then again, it is what it is, right? All right, let's pull this stamp and do some stamp surgery. I'm not afraid of stamp surgery. Oh boy, this is going to be quite the surgical procedure, though. I thought, mm. See, this one comes up behind here. Yeah. Okay, friends, if this makes you squeamish, don't look. Go right to here. Come back up. To go right to the edge on some of these, though. It's just kind of scary. Don't look. If you're squeamish, do not look. Okay. So since the other part's watercolor, this obviously has to be watercolored too. Um, Bye, Pam. Okay. Do I want to continue with the Gina K amalgam? Or do I want to just stamp it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stamp it with some Simon Hurley ink and then watercolor around that. If I can find my fake plant. There it is. Well, yeah, not only that, but so this part is green and the other parts are mostly floral. So you're either going to have green florals or pink leaf edges, unless you do it all in black, which let's get it one more time. I'm going to go as quickly as I can on this part. I think I used Whisper before. Where did I put it? Yeah, I used Whisper. The amalgam. I probably could have used a, rather than use an amalgam, I could have probably used a dye ink like I did just now. All right. Let's get our greens out. Go in with the lighter green first. Where'd my brush go? Here it is. Is this it? Is this the same brush I was using? Yeah. Leavages, yes. Leavages. And I'm just gonna go wet on dry because I'm getting short on time, friends. And I don't want to keep you longer than you need to be kept. Our leavages don't really matter as much as our flowers. Well, it can.
And I'm not worried about staying in the lines because again, I'm going to fussy cut this. That's why I was debating whether I was going to leave this part in or not, but I left it in just to make sure that I didn't really completely screw up the stamp. So I may completely cut that off. I don't know. I'm going to find out. Now I'm going wet on wet. Just blending out. Dun, 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 dun. I love watching artists do tricky stuff with art, like they do like paintings made out of all bottle caps and stuff, and I'm just always just amazed. The white pot with the petals all around it. This is a paint pot that I got at Hobby Lobby years ago. And you can see that I never use it because it's covered in dust. I was going to use it, but then I realized how dusty it was. And I'm like, nope, can't really use that. I don't have time to clean it because I didn't notice it until it was too late. Baby now. Let me get you some Carole King reference going there. There, we're not looking for any perfection on our watercolor on this at all. I don't care if the green lines are showing, the darker green lines. And see, notice, even though I did it with Simon Hurley ink, it's still not really blending out that ink. Interesting. Interesting. No, it's all one piece. I could put this pot inside of there. No, I can't. Okay, I gotta dry this before I can cut it out, or my cutting will be foobar. Save you from the earworms. Good enough. All right. Uh-oh, where's my flower? Okay. Eh. We'll see how I feel about this. See, I don't want that white right there is where I have a problem. Half measured, half measures availed us nothing. So I'm getting out my knife. You haven't been to a Dollar Tree, Maddie? I go time to time. They don't, mine are usually just nothing but a hot mess and garbage everywhere. But they have some certain things I like a certain snack. And every once in a while I throw away my little cutting board and buy a new one. Those just little tiny ones because they do warp when you cut something hot up on them. That does that. Just take and kind of carve it out. Let's do that right here too. And notice I'm not worrying about this being perfect. I'm a bold person with my knife. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Dawn, for adding that little special effect there. See, this doesn't really have any line to it. So I could accidentally cut it out. This is where I run into trouble, is coming back up the other side when there's something long hanging over. Like that. And there is a die that cuts this out, by the way. Probably could have done that, but then I'd still be fussy cutting to get the white edge off. Oh, that sounds good. Cinnamon churro peanut rolls. Yummy. I like the little panda snacks, the strawberry ones, which I already know that fake strawberry is made of something gross, but I still like it. I just can't think about it. At least that's the rumor. I don't know what the fact is. Get that cut out of my way. Getting so close, friends. Well, we don't have a background yet. Now, I kind of have a place for this flower to be growing. Hey, let's get this pink off of here. Pori, P-O-R-I. I want to darken the edges right here. I'm just going to take my pencil. Just kind of come around it. So there's not really any white poking through. But also just kind of soften those out so they don't look so harsh. Earlier today, I did all this in ink for a video for the Imagine Craft channel, which I don't know when it'll be released, but it was fun. Different coloring, it is different. I need a little bit of darkness right there. I noticed it. Yeah, my air conditioner keeps surging. Probably because everybody's got their air on now because it got warm. I hope you break out your watercolors. Let's see. Okay, so background. Do I want to put it on just a solid background? Do I want to do an embossed background? Do I want a blue background? Let's look at it and see if I like it. Let me get it up here where you guys, let me zoom out a little so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. So we've got a blue here. We could emboss that. Yeah, I don't want to do a bunch on the background and take away from the flower. So we could do blue, that blue. We could do a light blue. What do you guys think? Dark blue, light blue? Embossed, not embossed. I could do a very dark green. Nope, no green. Let's see what else do I have have this cream colored specialty paper. Hi, Shanna. A blue watercolor scribble on white. I could do that. I mean, that wouldn't take that long. I kind of like the dark too. You know what? Let me pull out my dun, 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 my rainbow of cardstock here. I'm just curious if I have a red here that would work well. Just out of curiosity. What do you guys think on this? This is like a dark, dark pink. There's that. Shannon knows red's my favorite color. We have a salmon. No, the salmon would clash. Definitely not yellow. Let me see if this is the deepest blue that I have. I have this, oops, do not get that in the water. I have this deep, deep navy. You're right, Maddie. Prismacolor white can fix almost anything. I don't think I want navy. I kind of want this, actually. Kind of want this tone on tone look. So that's what I'm choosing, friends. Just because. Let's go. You know what? Let me just move my water like immediately. Hold on. Let me kill him with something. Let's go with the lavender. You shall die now. He'll die in a minute. Thank you, Christina. Okay, let's do 3 3/4 by 5. So we can go kind of like so, and then I can put a little sentiment right here. I'm not sure how I love the green against this, but I'm gonna be okay with it. You know what I want to do? You guys, this is the art thing where there's certain things that just won't allow you to carry on until you've done it. I'm gonna grab a dark pencil and kind of go along the edges here. See, like right there. Just to kind of make that stand out a little bit more. And cover up any white that may have surfaced, like right there. Right here. Stupid stink bugs. Now I'm all paranoid. Hate those things. Devil. They're the devil. Got a little goober right in here that has to go. There we go. Soften that out with a pencil. Guys, don't tell Simon I did stamp surgery. Don't start coloring that, Tracy. Stop it right now. See, if I start coloring that with my pencil, we're going to be here another while. Okay. That's going to pop up, and probably what I'll do is I'll put a little pops of color or something in the middle of that. Just a couple of little dots to look like those little brown speckly thingies. I don't love the leaf. It's too bright. It's bright, you guys. That's just kind of, that doesn't really help. Just kind of makes a mess. Okay, leave it alone, T. I'm just not loving this green against this pink. I love this against it. Okay, we're going back to the dark blue. Yeah, but see, I'm afraid of stink bugs like she's afraid of those things. Those who shall not be named. Go 3 3/4 by 5. Yeah, I'm just can tolerate that better. That on the blue. Just wasn't feeling it on this pink. Although I love it, that pink. All right, we're going to glue this down first. Have to get glue all the way to the edge because, you know, it's kind of curled up because of the way I cut it and stuff. But I don't really need glue in there. And what I want to do is before I glue it down is I want to tap it off. Okay, so that I don't have a bunch of excess oozing out. Okay, do you guys see my tweezers? Yep, right there. Mm, yeah, yeah, there is good. Okay, let's pop this onto a card base. I don't know if I want it on a white card base, but I really don't have any choice. Do a top folding. Oh yeah, white'll be good. Yes, they make a horrible smell when they're stressed, and they buzz you, or they buzz me anyway. Like it'll buzz right by my head. One time I had one land on me, and it got mad that it landed on me, so it sprayed on me. And I had to take like 3 showers to get that smell off. You know what? Before I go crazy on that, I'm going to take my Posca pen and get me a little bit of splatter going on here. Something heavy to hit it with. I should probably put some solar spray on here too, but I think I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm glad you don't have them in the UK or in Europe. Maybe you don't, but they're coming. I don't think they were always here. I think they're imports from somewhere else. Let's get some foam tape on that. I'm going to try and use up these circles. You know what? Hang on. I think I'll give this a little shape. What do you think? Let's see. Okay, what color solar spray? Well, obviously the pink, right? Let's see, where are you guys? Cross my heart. I don't know how it's going to look on the green if I accidentally get it on there, but I'll try and be careful. Yes, I really should use it. You're right, Elizabeth. So I'm just going to spray it onto my mat here. And then grab my little fan brush. Little fan brush, I said. Where are you? Oh, this isn't it, but it's smaller than the rest of them. It's okay if it gets on the white because you won't really see it unless you hold it in the light. But on the blue, oh yeah, it does look really pretty on the blue. Gives us a whole new outlook. I feel like I could throw some on here too. Not too much. Okay, tweezers. Need that to kind of dry a little bit. So now we've got this actually shaped. You can see how it's shaped here. And I can put just what I do with those, here they are. Just a one right here in the middle. Hey, Sean, welcome. Blue. Just kind of working these flower edges. So I need a sentiment. Let me wipe up my mess right there before I make a terrible, terrible mess. What I want something black. I want my black pops of color here. And I always like to make sure it's running. And I got splatter on things I didn't mean to get splatter on, but that's okay. I'm going to just add some little... This stuff is getting thick. You got to use it. Use it or lose it, like Diane says. All right, let's just set this over here and make a sentiment real quick. Where'd the stamp set go? Here it is. And I think have the courage to bloom even in dark times works, doesn't it? That makes it a sympathy card, kind of. Kind of. Okay, so how do I want to do this? First, I want my stamp platform. Let's pull out my maimed stamp. I'm not so sure. I think I might go black with white. I don't want black though. Picky, picky, huh? I'm gonna though.
Yeah, I have a ton of pops of color, that's for sure. And I always forget to use it, but I pretty much often grab for my stickles, which is all sparkly, and sometimes you don't want sparkly. Okay, what do I do want is I want my Brutus Monroe. Okay, got that. Get my piece of paper. That. Just lay it on top of everything because that's how I roll. Go once. Go twice. That works. Now you guys have to clean this all up before tomorrow morning too. And I won't do it till early in the morning. Now I'm going to go with black so that it pulls in the black from the center of the flower. If you don't use, I mean, if you like to heat emboss with white, this is the best, in my opinion. The Brutus Monroe Alabaster. Now, somebody told me that the Gina K is the same formula. I don't know because I haven't used it. Now, I have to wipe off the anti-static powder, but look how beautifully that embossed. I don't know why this thing won't focus. So I'm just going to let it cool for a second, and then I'm just going to take my little rag, a little water on it. Just wipe this off. Go nice back to its nice dark black. They are different. You have both. Okay, good to know. Thank you. So, like I said, I haven't tried the Gina K. I've tried Wow, I've tried Ranger. So far, this has been the best. I think what I want to do is cut that out into its shape. Oh gosh, you guys, we are so almost done. I appreciate your patience. I'm gonna have to cut this out over on my Vagabond because it has sticky back on it. Oops, that's the end of my mint tape. And so it's really thick. It's a slightly softer white. Okay. Oh, you only know Bruce Monroe makes Gina K's embossing powders? Okay. Where's that stink bug? I know he's over here somewhere. Waiting for me to touch something. See, this has sticker on it, so it's going to be important for me to place it properly uh, in the first place. And so I have to decide, where do I want it to go? I think I want it right here. There we go. There's the watercolor lily. I'll probably finish the other ones and make them into a different card or a tag or something like that. I don't know if it will or not, Maddie, but if you see my desk, I don't have any place to put it. So, hi, Michelle. Um, I would have to clean off my mess in order to put it on here, and you can see that I've got splatter everywhere, so I don't want to get it out. Here it is, kind of up close a little.
Of course, and then there's the solar paste splatters along with some white splatters, which really turned out pretty. I'm glad I did those. It kind of pulled it all together. So friends, thanks for coming and hanging out with me for almost 2 hours. That was long. That was really long. Um, I appreciate your time and your patience. And you know, I might mess around with this until I wreck it, because have you ever done that? I just want it darker here in the middle so it looks like it's more dipped down. um, if you are around in the morning, 9 o'clock Central, Dawn and I will be live. I have sent an email out to Gaz inviting him for next week, and then the following week, Jenna will be with us. So I'm looking forward to that. And thanks you guys again, and I will see you guys around the rooms. Take care. Bye.